Hey everyone, Dan Carson here. Thanks for joining us today. It's been a busy week, had a lot going on. The U.S. Treasury 10-year note's been all over the place, so the mortgage business has been really active, busy. Rates are great right now. So we've been doing a lot on the customer front. People are buying a lot of homes. It's a really competitive market. So we've just had a pretty active week in the mortgage business. I've had a lot of great meetings and unique opportunities that we've seen over the past few weeks, and that's everything from meeting with new real estate offices, meeting with large organizations, meeting with other lending teams here locally. So it's been a fun week, challenging week. And I've been pushed in a lot of different directions. I coach with an organization. I get coached by an organization that helps me do a better job in our business. I recommend coaching to really anybody out there. If Warren Buffett needs a business coach, then you and I can take one too. I got challenged a little bit in my coaching this week. It's really, there's an organization that takes really high-end professionals in our business in the mortgage space, and you're kind of in peer groups of three guys for a 6-month period where every 2 weeks you're connecting, you're talking about your business, how you can better serve your customers and your clients, kind of becoming a student of the game, iron sharpen iron type situation. And the guys that I'm in a group with, you're always in competition with each other to improve, to surpass certain goals and objectives that you set for yourself throughout what we call semesters. And the group that I have this semester is they're pretty competitive, and I've been kind of ticked off, honestly, and it kind of lit a different kind of fire in me than I've had in a long time when it comes to my sales activities. Because I don't just lead and manage a team. I also go out and I produce mortgages myself. So I have to go get the business by working with realtors, financial planners, builders, anybody that's going to be involved in a real estate transaction, meeting with individuals for refinances and restructuring their finances through refis. That's a lot of fi's in there, so apologize for that. And then I have to make sure that I'm giving customers the attention to feel like they're the only customers that we have. So between my team and I, it's a tall task to kind of manage all those things. But these guys are getting after it, and it's pushed me a lot. And it's kind of ticked me off and give me a new competitive edge. And through that, I want to share some of the things that I've been building with and learning from internally. Start off, I'm going to go through a couple things on the show this week. I'm actually, is it going to be the Dan Carson Show? I decided to call it BYOB. And the reason for that is every month I have a meeting with my team here. I bring together our whole organization. It's over 30 people, and my business partner and I go through, and we basically give sales tactics. We talk about our numbers. We review. We set goals, and we call it BYOB. It's funny because we've actually had an employee show up with a 6-pack and think it's that kind of BYOB, when in reality, it stands for Build Your Own Business. Whatever you're doing, whether you're an employee or whether you're an entrepreneur or you're building your own business. If you work for a company, you're an entrepreneur every day. You're setting the tone for your brand, what you do, how you do it. If you're an entrepreneur, you're doing the same thing, and you got certain things along the way that are going to help you do better at your job, do better at your goals as an owner or a business builder. And this is the mindset and mentality that I want every employee that I have, every teammate that I have, every partner that I have, to have the mindset of it's their business. You're always an entrepreneur, whether you work for somebody else whose name's on top of the door and owns that company, or if you're building your own company. So we're going to call it the BYOB show. That's the story behind it. I don't know how we came up with it. I just we're the mortgage business is huge on acronyms. Like there's a million different acronyms in our business, and so there's always something that we can shorten up. So our team is called the One Group. So we go by the OGs. Kind of funny twist back on the '90s. Looking at the original gangster kind of thing. And then we have the BYOB meeting. So everybody's got their acronyms for what they do, and so I've enjoyed that. Our team loves it. We love doing that meeting and having that chance to come together. So I want to share some of the things that we talk about and how we approach things in our business, so that maybe it can help you, whether you're just somebody running, whether you're an Amazon delivery business, a mortgage broker, a realtor. Hopefully some of the stuff that we talk about, whether it be mindset, whether it be tactics, whether it be communication, I think these are all things that we can, impart. I can impart whatever I've learned from my failures to help other people out. So I do a lot of audiobooks, reading. I don't know if you can really call audiobooks reading the same way, but it's a way to get fed into without actually reading the books themselves. I'm still a fan of big physical reading, and I read a lot of self-help books. I mean, I went through a period where I was reading a book a week at one point in time, and it's hard to keep up with everything else that we have going on. But what I've started doing recently is I started doing audiobooks and doing them on morning walks, getting as much as I can. Recently had 2 or 3 books that have just kind of helped me from a mindset standpoint. And I'll give you a list of 2 or 3 at the end of the call, and or at the call, the end of the show, that we can run through and start, maybe give you a little reading list or some of the things that I'm getting from them, and would love to get feedback from people along the way. So my personal motto and what drives me is to make people's lives better, for me being a part of it. I've failed at a lot of things in life. I've screwed up a lot of stuff. And if I can help somebody improve their situation or improve their lives by giving them something from me or sharing some information, whether it be good, bad, and different, like to make their lives better, because I've had the opportunity to be a part of it, I'm going to do everything I can to make that the case. It's similar to the golden rule: do unto others as you do unto yourself. I really just want people's lives to be better for me being a part of it. And that leads to a lot of different things. It's hard you become a people pleaser. You have a really hard time cutting corners. I cut corners for a long time in my life. And, I learned a lot from the repercussions of cutting corners, and, it caused a lot of failures. So all those things have kind of driven me to have some opinions on some of the keys to success. So I'm reading a book right now. It's called Your Next 5 Moves. It's by Patrick Bet-David. And in the book, he said, he asked the question, what is the number one key to success for an entrepreneur, somebody building business, entrepreneur, whatever they are. And he said it's their ability to solve problems, which I think is great. Like most of, the great businesses, the innovative companies out there, they're built on the ability to solve a problem or see the solution to a problem that people don't know about. Vacuum cleaners were created for a reason. Things are always created for a reason. And being innovative doesn't necessarily mean that it's got to be for a product or creating something new that people will use, like, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, all the Jeff Bezos, all those guys created something new, different, that people use, but it also can be innovative processes and procedures and solving those problems. I agree. Being a problem solver is unique today. A lot of people want to be told what to do. A lot of people want to show up, do their job, head out. Problems happen. Hey, it's not my problem. And that's part of like not having an ownership mindset in everything that you do. So I kind of I tend to agree with the mindset that being a problem solver is exponentially important in business and life and everything else. But for me, my ad would be while you have those problems, there's a certain level of grind that you have to be able to work through the problems that they have themselves. There's a specific mindset that comes through when issues happen where, the fight or flight response exists in all of us. And there comes a certain point where you have to decide like, all right, is this problem too much? Is this problem going to break me? Is this going to break me down? But there's also a point where you have to determine whether or not you've got the willingness and the grit and determination to grind through that problem in itself. And that really means like maintaining the capacity and the mindset to outwork the problem sometimes, because I've had times, and a lot of times I feel like I always know what my next step is. But the problem for most people that lead a team or operate a business, it doesn't come when they've got a clear path ahead of them. We all business plan, we all set things in motion, we all think about what's next. But the problems, like for me, is like being able to when you don't know what to do, how do you get there? Like what do you do? And the answer for me has always been to grind my way through the problem itself, to work through, to continue on, and to maintain the basics. Because if you push and maintain those basics, eventually the ideas are going to kick into place that's going to give you a clear path for where you want to be long term. And a lot of that comes from the people you surround yourself with, the team that you have, who you hire, who you bring in, because those people are going to push you to grind through that problem and pushing you to a different level of success. If you got the team that's full of yes men, or they're not gonna push you when the times are tough. They're not gonna say, "Hey, you're doing great. Like I know that we've got this big overlying things, but things are okay." They're gonna be like, "No, this is a big problem. You need to put the pedal to the metal. You need to turn it on, and you need to figure it out, because these people depend on you to be able to outwork the problem sometimes." So, unless you're a genius, you've got to have the grit and determination to push through those situations, because they're always going to come up. And you can't necessarily plan for them, because sometimes the biggest problems happen when things are good. But if you're always looking for and identifying the issues, and you've got the great people around you, and you've hired well, you've hired people that are have the opportunity to surpass your abilities, and you develop them to continue to be better leaders than you can be, then it's going to be a lot easier to get through those problems. So it's kind of a long-winded way to say that I agree that being able to solve problems is one of the major keys to success. But I also say to be able to work through and grind through those problems as they arrive is my extension of that. To give a specific example, I've had some periods of life where I felt like I've gotten there, that I've met a goal. Somebody needs to recognize it, and that it's enough. And the problem with that mindset is if you feel like you've ever arrived, it means that you're failing your potential. So I had a mindset problem that was basically I'm doing well and I am achieving my goals, and what happened was there was a big lull where I didn't feel challenged. And within that, it became easy. And so I didn't know what was next. And I became complacent. Complacency is the death of all businesses. So as like the entrepreneur mindset, the person running my own business is, it was the time where I said, all right, you feel like you've been successful here. Now it's time to take the dial, turn it up, and figure out what the next level is. And we often find ourselves in positions where the mindset it can be the death of us. You could be great at your job. You can quit being a student of your craft. You can quit working on and grinding through the things that challenge you and try to make it easier by outsourcing it, hiring somebody, removing something. Or you can figure out how to be great at everything you do, the basics, the difficult things, the hard, the mid-range task. I guarantee you, when Michael Jordan was playing basketball, that he did just as many shots from 2 feet away as he did from 25 feet away. You have to be really good at the simple stuff just as well as you have to be good at the difficult things, or the things that are more challenging, more key. And I had kind of been at a period where I thought I was doing great and I didn't challenge myself. And then that caused me to trend backwards. When things are going great, that's when you need to press the metal and go and push yourself even further. Because you never know what you can achieve until you push yourself to the max of what your potential is. And I feel like oftentimes we never know what that is, or we don't get to experience that because we don't push ourselves hard enough. So I've learned from that personally. Want to share that with those of you around there. When other people are, and going back to the problem solving piece, you can't look at it like you're playing checkers, that it's just one move to the next. You got to look at it like you're playing chess every day, and understanding that while other people are typically playing checkers, it's your job to keep a chess mindset. You're not just moving, bi-directionally. You've got 50 different pieces that can, I don't know how many pieces are on chessboard. I know it's not 50. I think it's 24, maybe 20. I should know that better, but it's, you've got all these different pieces that can move different ways. Then you got to be thinking about the next 5 moves, which is part of the piece of that book is, it's been really good for me to think about the mindset that I deal with issues, that I approach things, and where I've been doing things. So a grandmaster in chess, I think, is 15 moves ahead, thinking 15 moves ahead. It's hard to do. It's hard to do in anything in life, but if you've got the problems, be able to think about the solutions and the problems that could be potentially presented by the solutions, and navigating through that by having an understanding and a good plan to deal with it, and grinding through when the problems arrive. So I'm trying to keep the show about 20-25 minutes so that people can watch it quickly, get through a launch. So the keys to success for me individually is to work through the problems and solve problems better than everybody else, while having the grit and determination and mindset to grind through that when necessary. I started something about 50 days ago. I'm going to talk a little bit about health next week and some of the things that I've learned over the past couple months, and what the results have been, and what kind of leading yourself so that you can lead others better. And that's going to be the topic for the next show. So anybody that's watching, I've started doing 45 minutes of cardio every morning, and whether it be you can walk 2.5, 3 miles. I mean, it's pretty much 3 miles on the dot, a little bit further, at a pretty good walking pace for me every day. And I'm listening to an audio book. Done 3 over the past couple since probably the middle of July. 2 Tim Grover books, Winning and Relentless. They were great. Tim Grover was a guy that was a trainer for some of the best athletes of the 90s, 2000s, and great author, public speaker. The books are Relentless and Winning. And I would check those out. He was Michael Jordan's personal trainer outside of the Bulls, Kobe Bryant. Just got some unique perspective on a lot of things in life. And most recently, the Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick Bet-David, which has been great too. He's a kind of unique guy. His parents immigrated from Iran. He started a major insurance conglomerate. And I would start with any of those 3, walk 45 minutes a morning, and that'll get you set right for the day. I'm going to wrap it up. Appreciate everybody tuning in today. Look forward to seeing everybody next time. This is, it's been, I think outside of the first show I did, this is the first one I've done individually. I had a friend who kind of said, people really want to watch a podcast to get to know you. So I'm going to continue mixing in guests, doing other things, but I am going to try to, just give people the opportunity to know me. And again, I just want to share whatever I've learned with others. If it can help somebody, that'd be great. And I also want people to know who they're working with if they need to do something in the real estate transaction, if they need to, get a mortgage to either buy or sell real estate, to reposition their finances. That's what I do. That's who I am. And I love, like I always say, I get to help people pursue the American dream. And my mission is to make people's lives better for being a part of it. So hope everybody has a great week. I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a good one.